Welcome to this episode, Teaching Emotional Intelligence to Kids, a practical guide through storytelling on the podcast The Power of Emotional Intelligence. The slam door, the tears over math homework, the supermarket meltdown where you just want to disappear, meltdowns, anxiety, mood swings, or social pressure. I've been there, and in those moments, we all ask the same thing. What am I supposed to do? What if the answer was not more discipline or better rules? What if it was a different kind of language? One our kids could learn to name, calm, and understand what they feel. That's emotional intelligence. In today's episode, we unpack tools that are simple, powerful, and surprisingly fun to help children build the emotional strength they'll need for life. What does a bedtime story have to do with resilience? What's the pause button, and how can it help a child pause before overwhelm takes over? And how do we, as parents or educators, guide emotional growth, even when we are still figuring it out ourselves? If you care about helping the next generation grow with emotional clarity, this episode is for you. Stay with me. We are about to open the door. Before we begin, a warm welcome. Whether this is your first time here or you've been listening from the start, if you are finding value in this conversation, the best way to support this mission is to take 1 second and hit follow or subscribe. It helps more than you know. Thank you. Thank you very much. And now let's open that door.
What if those very emotional skills, the ones that help us adults thrive or at least cope in really demanding situations, what if those same skills could help a child just navigate everyday stuff, like making new friends or handling feeling totally frustrated?
That's such a powerful starting point, isn't it? It really gets to the heart of building resilient, empathetic people. It's definitely central to what we're exploring today.
Absolutely. So today we're getting into something truly essential, teaching emotional intelligence to kids. We're going to be pulling insights from Marc Monteil's book, Beyond the Hidden Door, Mastering Emotions. It's this fantastic story approach.
Right. It makes these sometimes complex emotional ideas really accessible through storytelling. And we'll also touch on broader concepts from the Power of Emotional Intelligence podcast discussion.
Yeah, exactly. And our goal really is to pull out the most helpful, practical bits of knowledge for you listening. Maybe you're a parent, a teacher, a coach, or honestly, anyone who cares about helping kids develop that emotional well-being.
We want to uncover some real tools, different ways of looking at things to help children not just know about their emotions, but actually start to master them.
Okay, so let's start right there. Why is this so vital? Especially for children, we hear emotional intelligence thrown around a lot. But what's the real challenge kids face, and why is learning this stuff so important for their future?
Well, it's fascinating because kids aren't just born knowing how to handle their feelings.
Yeah.
I mean, let's be honest. A lot of adults still find it tricky to name or regulate or even understand what they're feeling, right?
Enough.
So for kids, these abilities, recognizing, managing, understanding emotions, they're absolutely fundamental. They shape, almost everything. Their resilience when things get tough, their empathy for others, how well they can focus, the kinds of relationships they build, it all connects back.
And there's solid research on this. It's not just a nice idea. What does the research actually show about the impact?
Oh, definitely. Study after study shows that kids with higher emotional intelligence, they don't just seem nicer. They often do better in school, academically.
Right.
They tend to have healthier, more stable friendships and relationships. And looking longer term, they generally report better overall well-being. It's not just about being happy all the time.
No, it's about having the toolkit.
Exactly. The internal toolkit to handle life's inevitable bumps and challenges, turning those tricky moments into chances to grow. It genuinely seems to set them on a better path.
Yet, even with all that evidence, it feels like sometimes emotional learning gets pushed to the side, in schools, maybe even at home. What's the biggest hurdle there, and does the material we're looking at offer some hope?
I think the biggest hurdle is often just the perception of limited time and resources. School curricula are packed, parents are stretched. It can feel like, where do we fit this in?
Yeah.
But the key thing, the really hopeful part, is that emotional intelligence isn't some fixed trait you're born with. It's absolutely a skill you can learn.
Okay, that's crucial. It's learnable.
totally learnable.
Yeah.
And like learning a language or an instrument, the earlier you start building that emotional fluency, the more natural and beneficial it becomes throughout your whole life.
So if it is learnable, how do we actually teach it in a way that clicks with kids? It can't just be like handing them a psychology textbook, right?
Yeah.
This is where Marc Monteil's book, Beyond the Hidden Door, seems really interesting. What was his idea behind using a story?
Well, his approach was quite clever, really.
Hmm?
Instead of writing a direct how-to manual, he wanted to create a story, an adventure, that would naturally spark conversations about emotions.
Makes sense.
He understood that kids connect with stories, with characters they can relate to, with challenges that kind of echo their own feelings, even if it's all wrapped up in a fantasy world.
And Beyond the Hidden Door, Mastering Emotions really delivers on that. It's this beautifully illustrated adventure aimed at kids roughly 6 to 14, and it uses the story, the metaphors within it, to teach 5 key emotional intelligence skills. Let's talk about the characters. They sound like kids could really connect with them.
Oh, they really are relatable. You've got Leo, the bold explorer. He kind of represents that journey every kid takes, facing self-doubt, feeling scared, dealing with those really big, overwhelming emotions. He starts off anxious about a change.
Okay.
But through the adventure, he learns that real strength isn't about hiding feelings. It's about understanding them. And importantly, knowing it's okay to ask for help.
I like that. And who's the other main character? Sophia.
Yes, Sophia, the brave storyteller. She's also great. Her journey shows how just naming your feelings, putting words to them, is a huge step towards growth. Her strengths are her curiosity and her kindness, which shows kids those qualities are powerful too.
And they have a guide, right? Lumio, the guide of light? What's Lumio's role? Sounds intriguing.
Lumio's fascinating. It's this glowing robot, sort of like an inner compass made real.
Huh.
Lumio doesn't just hand out answers.
Okay.
Instead, Lumio helps Leo and Sophia ask the right questions. It guides them through those stormy feelings, as the book calls them, helping them find calm and confidence. It's a really neat way to show that internal process of figuring things out.
So the book itself, its structure, actually maps onto this journey of emotional learning. Each chapter focuses on one core EQ skill, using these different metaphorical worlds that reflect challenges kids actually face. It's quite smart. Where do Leo and Sophia start? What's the first skill?
They start with self-awareness, which they explore at the reflective lake. And this isn't just basic happy or sad. The book gets into recognizing what you're feeling and why, even the feelings that are sort of hidden or unclear.
Like seeing beneath the surface.
Exactly. Sophia might see her underlying sadness, or Leo his nervousness, reflected in the lake. It teaches kids to identify feelings without judgment. And the big takeaway is that feelings are signals, like little messengers, not something to be ashamed of.
Okay, so once you can spot the feeling, the next step is managing it, right? Which leads to self-regulation at the Stormy Mountain Pass. How does the book tackle that? That seems like a tough one for kids.
It is tough, but the book handles it well. This skill is all about managing those strong impulses: anger, fear, frustration, especially when you feel under pressure. The story shows how bottling things up or letting them explode just makes the storm worse.
Right.
But then it introduces a really practical tool, the pause button technique. It's simple. Imagine hitting pause. Take 3 slow, deep breaths, count to 5.
The pause button. I like that.
Yeah. It's not about stopping the feeling, but creating that tiny bit of space between the feeling and your reaction. It gives kids a chance to choose how they respond instead of just being swept away.
Honestly, a tool many adults could probably use more often too. Okay, so after awareness and regulation, where does the journey take them?
It moves into motivation and resilience, which they find in the Whispering Woods. This part explores understanding what drives you, your internal motivation to keep going even when things are hard, and crucially, how to bounce back from setbacks.
Resilience, yeah, that's huge.
Definitely. The challenge in the woods, finding the Sunstone Beacon, isn't just about persistence. It highlights breaking big goals into smaller steps. And what's really insightful is how it connects resilience to purpose, remembering why you're doing something. That why becomes your guide when things get difficult.
It's like building that inner compass you mentioned with Lumio. Okay, skill number 4 takes them outside themselves, right? Empathy. They learn about this in the empathy meadows. Why is this one so important?
Oh, empathy is vital, especially today. The book frames it beautifully as listening with your heart. It's not just recognizing how someone else feels, but trying to genuinely understand and share in their feelings.
How does the story show that?
Well, there are examples like Leo and Sophia helping a lost sparrow, Star, find her family, or comforting a scared rabbit named Thumper. It shows how compassion and helpful actions come directly from trying to see things from another's point of view. The message is clear. Empathy isn't just a soft skill. It's a powerful connector, essential for building real relationships.
That makes perfect sense. And the fifth skill pulls it all together for interacting with others. Social skills in the Crystal Cave Challenge.
Exactly. This is where they practice everything in a social context. Communicating clearly, really listening to each other, cooperating, navigating disagreements. They have to solve puzzles together in the Crystal Cave.
Teamwork.
Right, by combining their different ideas and strengths. It teaches them how to work together effectively, listen respectfully, and build trust. It's about the practical side of getting along and collaborating.
And I heard the book has a final section, The Labyrinth of Mirrors, that integrates everything. It's not just a recap.
No, not at all. It's the capstone experience. It really demonstrates how you need to use all 5 skills together in complex situations. It shows that mastery isn't just about having individual tools, but knowing how to combine them effectively. Life throws complicated stuff at us, right?
It certainly does.
And this labyrinth shows that navigating those challenges well requires blending self-awareness, regulation, motivation, empathy, and social skills. It's about making choices based on a holistic understanding.
Okay, so the story provides this amazing framework with Leo, Sophia, and Lumio. But how do we bring these ideas, these skills, out of the book and into a child's actual everyday life? The book offers practical tools. You mentioned the pause button. Let's revisit that one.
Yeah, the pause button is fantastic because it's so concrete. A child feels a big emotion welling up, anger, frustration, whatever. They literally imagine pressing a pause button. Then 3 slow, deep breaths. And ask themselves, what am I feeling? Where is it in my body? That simple sequence creates a moment, a pause. It helps shift their brain from pure reaction into a more thoughtful space. And crucially, it does it without making them feel bad or ashamed for having the feeling in the first place.
That sense of agency is key, isn't it? Giving them a tool they can actually use. What about emotion spotting? That sounds kind of fun.
It is. It encourages kids to be emotion detectives, just noticing and naming feelings throughout the day their own, maybe even noticing cues in others later on. Not necessarily to fix anything, just to observe, oh, I'm spotting some excitement, or, feeling a bit worried right now.
Like building a muscle.
Exactly. It makes self-awareness an ongoing normal thing, not just something you think about when things go wrong. It becomes almost like a game.
And related to that is my feeling check-in, connecting feelings to the body.
Yes. That one helps them identify where they feel emotions physically. Like, does nervousness feel like butterflies in the stomach? Does happiness feel warm in the chest? It really strengthens that mind-body connection, which is so important for really understanding emotions.
Okay, and for developing empathy, there's a tool called Walk in Someone Else's Shoes. How does that work practically?
This takes the lesson from the empathy meadows and applies it day to day. It encourages kids to actively observe how someone else might be feeling, try to imagine their perspective, and think about what that person might need.
So it goes beyond just saying, be kind.
Right. It fosters genuine understanding, helping them practice that listening with your heart in real interactions at school or home.
And for the motivation piece, my motivation map.
Yes, that's a great one for resilience. It's a tool to help kids set a goal, think about their personal why. Why is this important to them? Then plan small steps to get there, and even think about what challenges might pop up and how they might handle them.
Like a little strategy session for themselves.
Kind of. It helps them navigate their own personal whispering woods, building that perseverance muscle.
And finally, for social skills, the communication game.
This is usually a partner activity. One person practices speaking clearly about something. The other practice is really listening actively, maybe summarizing what they heard. It's a playful way to sharpen those communication skills needed for the Crystal Cave challenge of real life.
It sounds like Monteil really provides this whole emotional intelligence toolkit, as you called it. Practical things kids can actually use.
Absolutely. And the feedback confirms it. Parents and teachers have said the book gives them a really natural way to open up conversations about feelings, making emotional language just a normal part of talking, and really empowering kids.
The book sounds incredible, but obviously the adults in a child's life, parents, teachers, coaches, play a huge role too. How can adults best support this emotional learning journey?
One of the most powerful things is simply talking about it, encouraging reflection. So after reading a chapter or even just noticing something during the day, ask open-ended questions. How do you think Leo felt right then? Have you ever felt a bit like Sophia when that happened?
Connecting it back to their own world.
Exactly. helping them bridge the story and their own experiences. It makes the lessons much more personal and sticky.
And it's not just about teaching the kids these tools, is it? We need to use them ourselves.
Oh, absolutely. That's maybe the most critical piece. Adults modeling this stuff is huge. When kids see us using a pause button, when we get frustrated, or hear us talk openly about our own feelings, well, I'm feeling really disappointed about that meeting, it normalizes it all.
It shows it's not just kid stuff.
Right. It shows emotional awareness is a lifelong practice for everyone. We lead by example, showing healthy ways to cope, talking about our feelings without shame.
And creating that safe space where kids feel okay expressing any emotion, even the difficult ones like anger or sadness, seems vital.
It absolutely is. Validating their feelings is key. Saying things like, wow, it sounds like you're feeling really angry right now, instead of, don't be angry, or it's not a big deal.
Acknowledging it.
Yes, acknowledging and accepting it. That creates an environment where feelings can be explored, understood, and managed, not just stuffed down. And tied to that, when it comes to motivation, really celebrate their effort and persistence, not just the outcome. Remind them that messing up or facing challenges is part of learning, just like in the Whispering Woods. It's an opportunity to grow.
Now, there's one more really unique feature with Beyond the Hidden Door, this interactive chatbot. Tell me about that. That sounds very modern.
It's a really innovative bonus, I think. When you get the book, you get access to a private chatbot where kids can actually interact, typing, or even voice talking with the characters, Leo, Sophia, or Lumio.
Wow, really?
Yeah, they can use it to role-play situations they're facing, ask the characters questions about feelings, or just reflect on things happening in their own lives. It's like the characters step out of the book to continue being guides.
That's amazing. So the learning doesn't stop when you close the cover. And it helps with language skills, too, you mentioned, even bilingual.
That's right. It can support language development alongside the emotional intelligence work, and yes, it even offers bilingual interaction options, which is a fantastic extra benefit. It adds another layer of practice and reinforcement.
So wrapping this up, it feels incredibly clear that helping kids develop emotional literacy is it's an invaluable gift, isn't it? Equipping them with these internal tools they'll use their entire lives.
Absolutely. These aren't just skills for navigating a fantasy story. They're practical, everyday tools for dealing with school stress, friendships, family stuff, everything life throws at them.
We really encourage you listening to check out Beyond the Hidden Door, Mastering Emotions. It's available as a premium, paperback, ebook. It seems like a fantastic resource, whether it's for your own kids, your classroom, or just for your family to explore together.
And maybe just remember, like Leo and Sophia on their quest, every day really is a chance for your own journey too. We all have that inner strength, that capacity for wisdom and courage to handle challenges, connect with people, and keep growing into our best selves. So maybe just think, what's one small step you could take today, right now, to embrace your own amazing journey?
Thank you for joining me on this journey today. Our goal here is simple: to give more people the tools to navigate their emotional world with confidence and kindness. If this conversation opened a door for you, or if you know a parent, a teacher, or a friend who needs to hear it, the most powerful thing you can do is share this episode. And if you have a moment, leaving a 5-star rating or a review on Apple, Amazon, or Spotify is how new listeners find us. It's how this mission grows. Thank you for being a part of it.